I can't even do this without breaking up. Marketing 1301, principles of marketing. I told you, I warned you I was going to unleash the Kraken, and this is the Kraken. Oh my God. This is going to be a wild ride. I recommend adult diapers and safety equipment, welding goggles, and a parachute for this one. Today we have Kevin Unger. And I've told you all about Kevin Unger, and we've been talking about branding, and I've been crushing branding and pushing it down, and video and photography. And Kevin, I told you I wanted you to speak to all three sections of the class. So this is an asynchronous 1 hour, kind of a machine gun approach. But we just went through midterms, and every student said in their feedback in the midterms that they love these interviews. They love getting real world advice from real world business people and real world graduates of this Niagara College program. So I take us back 2016, you and I in a room together, standing on chairs, throwing tables, but we focused on what it is we wanted to create as careers, as paths, as visions. And I always remember from the moment I met you, you knew exactly what you wanted. You had, well, not pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
You knew where you wanted to go. You knew what you wanted to do. And I am so proud because I followed your success. I've worked with you. You're amazing. I've already told the students to connect with you because even just getting their branding out there is so important. And the concept I've been using is your brand now precedes you. And you are the perfect example of that. So Kevin Unger, Unger Studios, write it down. And Morning Light Photography, which is your wedding photography business. But you have a thriving business downtown St. Catharines. But Kevin, tell us about you and tell us your story and like take us back to, walking into the college and kind of take us on that path because it's going to be a wild ride. I'm just going to put my seatbelt on.
Sounds good. Yeah. So actually, as you said, that actually made me think, which I guess will be part of the story of how the commercial stuff started taking off. So I mean, basically grew up here in Niagara my whole life, but then I wasn't going to go to school, but my parents convinced me to. And then I knew I wanted to do photography stuff because when I was 15, 16, I wanted to go to concerts for free that were at L3 nightclub downtown. And then I messaged the local bands. I said, hey, can you get me in? I'll do your photos. And it worked. So I started going to concerts for free all the time and eventually grew up the courage to ask for $10 plus the concert ticket and then $20. And then eventually I started doing some of the band promo photos that were on at that time, MySpace. And yeah, so some of those bands started blowing up and I got into some magazines. I think at 16, 17, I started having some like cardboard cutouts in like Japan, like in music stores. So like, I knew I could do this whole photography thing. Yeah. I knew I needed to learn how to run a business. And so my parents were like, hey, just go to Niagara College for a couple of years. It turns out I signed up for the wrong program. I thought I was in sales and marketing. Turns out I was in accounting. I'm terrible at math. So they switched me at the orientation day because I was like, yo, like I'm going to drop out if I have to do accounting. So they switched me to the right program. And then so from there, I did the sales and marketing program. And while we were in, was it first or second year, we had to create, I think probably the first year, we had to create a LinkedIn account. And then everyone needed headshots. So I started doing headshots for people. And that's kind of what got the whole commercial thing started. Because I just started taking headshots for people, their LinkedIns, for their profiles. So thanks, Neil. That helped get things started on that.
$75, remember? It was $75.
Yeah, I still remember that. Yeah. And then on the wedding side, when my then girlfriend and I got engaged, and then our photographer said, hey, you guys should do this whole photography thing together. We're like, all right, cool. So we started a company. In our first year, we booked 14 weddings. We're like, oh, we could do this. And so we started that. And eventually we knew we needed to get rid of some editing stuff. So we eventually hired someone to edit for us. They then eventually came onto our team and became a photographer. And then we've hired some other people in the process. So that's a really quick condensed way of like my journey, kind of where I started and where we are now.
You always knew where you wanted to go, right?
Yeah.
And this is tough because we've had students in class like, so, what do you want to do? I don't know. Like, I'm in this general business program, which is right. So you don't get locked into accounting, go into 2 years. You want to stab yourself in the face with a highlighter. Right? You kind of had this right from the moment I met you, you said, oh, I'm going to do this. I envision this. Like you were really big on vision.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably been the biggest driver for you is you've known that journey that you've wanted to take.
Yeah, like I understand. I got really lucky understanding, knowing what I want to do. I got lucky. But then obviously a lot of hard work to get there, but I got really lucky with that. And then even with, going to Niagara College too. And even like, I credit like Rachel Crane a lot too. She also referred a bunch of business my way when I was in college. And then I was able to go full time and I was able to quit Starbucks in the second year of school. So that was the last job I had. So I've never really had a real job. Starbucks was, but that was great. But yeah, so I'm like, I've just been really lucky, but even for people who don't know what they do, just try some things, right? Like, and I don't know, like, I just think like life's long. I think it's long but short, but like you have a lot of time. Try some stuff. You might try something for a couple of years, not like it, whatever. Try something else until eventually, hopefully, you find your thing.
Well, the biggest thing limiting anybody is fear, right? Fear and ego.
Yeah.
Right? And ego and awareness can't coexist. We all know that. And people are like with ego, they don't last very long in business. But oftentimes, I often say to people, what would be possible if you weren't afraid? Like, what would be possible if you could just eliminate fear? What would that allow for? Oh, I could do this. Well, stay on that because that's declaration language. That's knowing where you want to go. But a lot of people, they listen to the critics around you, and you probably had a lot of critics, people like, here's why this is not going to work, or photographers don't make money, and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And you never really listened to that. You were always good with hanging around with people who lifted you up, not pulled you down.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't like that. So I wanted to be around people who are nicer. I don't know, that seems pretty simple to me.
Trust me, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
But so today, and really, I'm compelling everyone watching this, the students primarily, is I want them with you on LinkedIn, because we all know it's Facebook without the nonsense, but also Facebook, but more importantly, Instagram. And you're on there. Now, here's what I appreciate about you. You're on there constantly, but you're giving people advice and tools and things that they can do. And the thing that I love about your messaging, which really works today, is it's succinct and concise. And it's just like, you're not pontificating, like, okay, guys, as you know, we all watched your video last week in class of you going, hey, come on, here's my studio. And you walked up the stairs.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
That was raw, right? Like that was just, handheld, somebody following you.
Yeah.
What's your philosophy around personal branding? I know that's such a big question, but I really wanted to get that out today because you're really good at it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. So it's interesting. This is something we've been talking a lot about in the office, like even like, because as we've rebranded Unger Studios, we've moved away from my Instagram to its own Instagram now. Because so it's like where we have Morning Light, the brand, and then it was kind of like Kevin/Unger Studio stuff, but we have people who also shoot on that. So we we are moving to its own brand. But yeah, like, well, even when you're talking about like the short videos, I realized that I got a gift at saying things in a really short amount of time. I'm really good at that. I don't know why I'm terrible at writing, but I can talk in front of a camera. Yeah, right. So there you go. But yeah, I think personal branding is really important. And I think even more than that, it's understanding what branding is, because that means then if you can then work in a company, especially this is sales and marketing, you can then work for a company or work for a brand and help them grow their stuff. So, and I think growing your brand is also, or at least even if you don't want to grow it big, having something that's like professional that then shows whatever companies you want to work for, whether it's an employee position or if you're like self-employed, that you actually know what you're doing and you can actually help them with that. Then to me, like, especially in like the world I'm in with like helping people create better brands and help them like clear up their messaging and help them with brand strategy, like it should be like, they should very clearly understand what I do, why they want to buy from me, and how I'm going to help my personality. Yeah. Because that's exactly what we're doing for them. So you should really love what we do. So even if you don't want to grow a huge personal brand, even if it's not your thing, even if you're introverted, I get that. Just make sure that like, hey, you have something clear, professional, how you can help people. And this is maybe more for LinkedIn or Instagram, but how you can help people, what your philosophies around things are. And you don't have to be crazy out there like me posting videos, talking lots, but just make something clear and professional with a really clear message. That's what I think.
So in your business, what's the importance of, like, marketing as a whole, we know sales and marketing are the same thing, and branding's kind of under that umbrella. But
Yeah.
how important is marketing? Because let's be honest, there are a lot of photographers. They're like realtors. There's a ton of them
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah.
and for some of them, it's a hobby, right?
Yeah.
They're not. They're, they don't envision growing a studio, but then comes along you, who's really serious at standing out in a very crowded marketplace. And so, how important is planning and strategizing marketing for you guys and what it is you do?
Yeah, like the biggest thing for me. So I'm a huge Donald Miller fan. He wrote the
Yeah,
book Building a Story Brand.
build the story brand. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's also got Business Made Simple University, which is a lot of courses on there, which is great. And I think marketing is incredibly important. I think it's the reason why we've been able to grow, and fairly organically. We've put a bit into ads, but not much. But yeah, I think like he talks all about creating a clear message. We do not buy the best products. We buy the ones with the clearest message.
yeah,
And to me, like that's so. Yes, that's so right. And so for us, we focus a lot on that. And then that brand message we have, everything we post has to be filtered through that lens. For Morning Light, and then we have that for Unger Studios. If it doesn't fit that, like then we don't do it. Like it has to fit what like that brand message is. And I think that's really important. I think that's where a lot of people get into trouble, or they don't create clear brands. People don't know why they're buying from you. So yeah, marketing is really important. And like we focused a lot on like SEO stuff or like blogs, and that's like it's a long haul. Like I think even in marketing, this is really marketing and business. Anyone who says they have like a secret to double your triple your sales, I'm sorry, they're full of crap. It's 5 years in business. That's all it is. Like it's
working your ass off.
Yeah, man. Like it's great. I'm so thankful, but like there's no secret. It's just 5 years, and the first 3 suck.
Well, but you and I worked together a number of years ago,
Yeah.
and like before the pandemic, and
Yeah.
I tell a lot of people, all the branding that I've done over the years, that's the bank account that I withdrew from during the pandemic. Like I wrote a book, I just finished it, I'm launching it.
Cool.
It's live now.
Oh, perfect.
And I put my head down. I said, this pandemic's not going to define me. And I read The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek.
I love that book.
It's
I
a
love that book.
bigger perspective business. So I realized that my vision's bigger than the pandemic. It won't define me. So I put my head down, finished the book, just released it. I know where I'm going. And so, but I'm with you. I always had that clear picture. And you've always known the branding that I've done that's what got me through all of this. And I think that's what's taking you to the next level is you're building equity, brand equity, just like you build equity with finances, right? I think you're investing in yourself, and that equity always pays off, even karma. Like you're just like, I'm putting this out there and it always comes back. Kevin, what lens are you using for your messaging for Morning Light and Unger Studios? Like, what is those core values of your messaging?
Yeah, like for us, it also comes down to also knowing our clients too. But for Morning Light, obviously it's wedding, so we know like who our client is, and it's making sure that like we love looking at things through a lens, like always trying to either like help people, like educate them, or like entertain them. And even for us, like it's basically just creating our whole goal around our marketing for Morning Light specifically right now is just creating content that is really, really helpful for people. That's going to be like how to plan better timelines, or how to use your photos, or top places for engagement photos, wedding photos, like all those blog posts and that kind of thing. And then we can take those blog posts and turn them into posts with like the little pieces of like little paragraphs or a couple sentences.
Yeah.
We can then use that blog post as a script to make a video. And then we also then break that video down into Reels, TikToks, that kind of thing.
Wow.
So yeah, but looking at like that, so we try to make a lot of content from like one thing. That's our goal. Now we're also trying to create more like customized content for TikTok or Instagram, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then Unger Studios, it's for businesses. Actually, specifically, we've noticed that most people who've hired us in the last like year or two or 3 years have been women. So we're like, okay, so we just went through a rebrand, and we tried to like make the brand a little more feminine without it being pink, that kind of thing. Because
yes,
it was just the website didn't look good, so we wanted to be a little more friendly and not so like harsh and bro energy. So we're just trying to make sure that like it's business, very like business wise, but just a little softer, that kind of thing. So
yeah, professional. Like it's
really professional. Yeah,
everything today has to be a clear message,
Yes.
Like, and so the book is Build a Story Brand by Don Miller. Hey guys,
Yeah.
students, you might want to kind of search that. Not that it'll be on an exam anywhere, but it's a pretty good book, right? So Kevin, like
Oh,
you go ahead.
yes, sorry, I was going to say too, something we also did while rebranding, or you're saying, look, we were talking about the lens in which we view things. Something that like we did while we were rebranding Unger Studios, and we realized that like most people who've been booking us, even if they're bigger companies, it's a woman in the marketing department. We started interviewing our clients. That's how we discovered that. And interviewing your clients is one of the best things you can ever do. And we actually discovered that everyone's having the exact same problem without fail. Almost everyone, I think it was like 95% of people said the exact same thing. Everyone struggles with not having enough time. So that what is it? So that makes them feel overwhelmed. They don't know what to say, which makes them scared to post anything. There's the 4 things that we talk about. That's the 4 things we talk about. We don't talk about anything else.
That's focus.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
those are the 4 things we talk about.
So naturally, I'm thinking about Asmath, right? My buddy Asmath in the class. He's like taking like 6 pages of notes right now. I think we just gave him a drink of water with a firehouse, right? So I'm thinking about Serena and Anna and all. Oh my God, Abdullah, and I'm thinking about everybody in the class right now. They're probably like, right? They're probably they've gone through this 4 times, but now we come to the real world stuff. So,
yeah.
let's be honest. 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday, I've got students in India. It's midnight. Right. So a lot of them, we've been virtual through this whole thing, which is, I remember our experience, and I don't know if we could have had our experience virtually.
Yeah.
We're doing the best we can, but I've got students from all over the globe. A bunch of them are in Niagara, looking for beer money, like pizza. How are we going to get a pizza? But they're in their rooms. They've been isolated. And here's Kevin and Neil talking about business. If you could come back to the class, like to Friday, stand in front of them, what would you say? Like what advice would you give them?
If it's from from a business perspective?
Anywhere, like personal, business,
Yeah.
hygiene. I don't know, like anything. Just crank it out. Like,
well, the biggest thing that I'm learning is business is not everything. There's a life outside of it. So that's important. And oh my gosh, that so many people who own businesses don't realize that, myself included. So where that's something I'm working on. Also too, I think just you can, it sounds so like maybe it is optimistic, but I think it's like you can do most things, or like in the business world. I think that's one of the coolest things. Like if you can find a problem and solve it, you'll do fine. I think that's really what I'm talking
that's
about.
the definition of entrepreneurship. Find a
just
gap
find a problem
in the
and solve
market.
it. Yeah.
Right. Find a gap in the market. So the bit, like what I'm hearing is, number one, how do we, like, it's all about culture right now. For me and my work, strategic plan is easy. Drucker said your culture will eat your plan for breakfast. So it's getting people re-engaged, right? Because it's been 2 years. They've been isolated. They've been working isolated. Now they're kind of coming back together. And I'm just sitting there going, guys, tell a story. This is your moment to hit the market with messaging. This is like, you guys are wondering if your marketing people are even come back to the office. Like, that's ridiculous. You gotta go, like, you gotta move. You have to get that story out. And they're looking at me like, what are we gonna do for coffee today? And it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to push a rope.
Yeah. And to me, that almost feels like at a company level, there's not that vision that people have bought into. Right. And even talking about like the infinite game, it's like, have they been in a very finite mindset? And have you talked to your class about the infinite game?
Briefly, it's not part of the curriculum, but I've mentioned it quite a few times.
Well, okay, in case anyone doesn't know, there's finite thinking. Like in basketball, there's the 2 teams. At the end of the game, the team with the most points wins. Finite thinking is not bad. It's a thing. The problem is in business, 2 people have finite thinking. But if my competition goes out of business, I did not win business, right? So it's like the whole goal is to keep it going longer. And how do you keep it going longer? By treating people well, paying people well. And when you do that, people will probably want to come into work sooner and work, right? But to me, I'm like, that feels like it's a vision level, it's a treating people well level, maybe even payment, because people need to be paid fairly and all that stuff, right? It's just so interesting.
How did the college set you up? Because our class was a blast, right? We had a lot of fun. I remember our class was a good time.
Yeah.
All our classes are a good time. We had a lot of fun. But how did our class together really set you up?
Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking about it, and like, I don't even. I was talking to you about this before, and I think that's like one of the class I think that genuinely got me ready for the real world after is actually Neil's class, because like it showed you how, like actually how to present, get out of your comfort zone. Even like you recognize some people from conversations like these, or people who came into your class, like if you're actually in class, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Fabio, like me and him ended up working together, like just after, I think it was a couple of years after college, but because we had that mutual connection with you, like that's actually something that's like really, really helpful. And then one of the few things that I actually took away that was like long term, like nobody cares about the 4 Ps, like but can you like actually get out of your comfort zone? Can you learn to present? Can you reach out to people via LinkedIn and know how to connect with them? So yeah, I think that that was really helpful.
Talk about the 4 Ps every class.
Oh, good.
Right. Well, that's what I love about Malcolm Howell, right? Malcolm Howell's like, hit the 4 Ps, and then go through environmental scans, consumer behavior, products and branding, all that stuff. It all comes down somehow to the 4 Ps. And the students right now are working on their full term project where they're actually doing a marketing plan for a local B2C Niagara company.
Oh, cool.
And they're doing a great job. Like they're on site, they're interviewing, they're doing the environmental scans, location, all that stuff. So there is value in the 4 Ps of marketing, but I think at the end of the day, I've told the students now are submitting videos for their assignments.
That's cool.
I've told them, if you send me a Word document as an assignment, I'm probably going to kill you. And they're like, why? I go, it's boring. Word documents suck. So if your assignment sucks, you suck. Don't suck. So they're like, oh my God. Right. So they're doing creative PowerPoints. Like it's a marketing program. I'm working on getting them to be creative because I know it works because I've watched you.
Yeah.
You're always looking at ways of giving value to the market. And it's not about Kevin. It's about tools that people can use to build their brand. And I think, I don't know, what's next for you? Like, where do you see your business going? Because I see incredible things of what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, even to go back to what you said first, it's like, yeah, because I'm trying to position myself as the guide, not the hero. And as a business, we are the guides, not the heroes. Our clients, our customers are the heroes, and we're there to help them win.
That's from Don Miller, Build the Story Brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so that's the whole goal. And I don't know, I think helping people, show them how they can, what tools they can use or how to tell a better story. Those are like, giving that content away costs me nothing. And it builds goodwill towards me and my company. So to me, it just seems like a win-win for everyone. People learn how to build better companies and it helps my business grow. So I get to be the guide in the process. And because it shows my authority in that space, that I understand how to build a brand. Therefore, we can help you build a brand. And then, so that's just the way we've looked at it. And to me, I'm like,
this is
just be generous.
This is just gold. Right? This is marketing gold. I could have a professional marketer on here right now going, yep, that's it. Like, right. And it's so exciting. Closing remarks. What do you want to say? Like, let me put a helmet on. Like,
no. So like, I don't know. To answer your question of where do we see things going? I think our goal is 875 weddings by the end of 2025. So it's pretty ambitious. We're only at about like 100 right now. So we got some hiring to do, which is gonna be fun. That's on the wedding side. On the commercial side, we're trying to grow that too. And so I think I see us as a growing company for next. Like I did school college right out of high school. So I'm only 25, turning 26 now. So I got lots of time. So I don't see taking my foot off the gas anytime soon. So we're gonna keep going. Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, it's great. I think too, like the biggest thing, if I could leave people with anything, just if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram.
Yeah, Kevin, how do people find you?
Yeah, Kevin Unger on LinkedIn, or if you are on Instagram, Unger Studios is our commercial brand. Morning Light Photo is our wedding brand. And if you need to get a hold of me personally, it's just at Kev Unger, KEVUNGER.
I think you just go downtown and go, hey, Kevin. And you'll come pop out from some alleyway somewhere. What's going on?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, man, it's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night. I kind of want to thank you. I'm pretty appreciative of all that you've shared tonight. So you're pretty awesome, buddy. So
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad, always happy to help and just share a little bit about what I know.
right on. Stay on.